certainly the way that I'm going to explain things to a patient is going to be modified by their social style. If I have a driver patient in front of me, I'm going to keep it short, sweet, to the point. I'm just going to look, this is what we found, this is what's going on, this is what I'd recommend, this is what I can do, this is what you can do. Here's how we can get started. How does that sound? So I would be very, short and to the point, because the driver style people, generally they're focused on short-term results, they're fairly fast-paced. They just want to start doing something now. They won't want to sit and have a big long discussion first.
How do you balance that with informed consent?
Well, we have to tick the boxes for informed consent, obviously, there as well. So I'd be looking for, what's the way I can get the information they need across in as short a space of time as possible there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remove any filler words. I'm not going to give any additional explanations other than something that's a bit more short. But of course, we're going to ask if they have any questions. Just because they're a driver style, it doesn't mean they might not want to know other things.
Yeah.
Whereas if I had somebody, the opposite would be the amiable style. I'm going to take a little bit more time. I'm going to talk about their experience a bit more. So I might talk about, remember that part in the back when I pressed it? It was really tender, and it's right where you were getting that horrible shooting pain when you wake up, and the really frightening feeling you told me about. So I'll bring in more of their emotional experience. I might gesture a little bit more. I'll show in my face and my tone that I understand how this feels. Amiable style people are generally going to feel like I've really taken the time to connect their experience. A driver patient might go, yeah, that's great. It's a little bit wishy-washy. Can we just get on with the treatment? So it will do that. But even then, before we ever get to the point where I'm explaining my diagnosis and plan, I want to be using similar styles to communicate right through the history process, right through the exam. We're constantly trying to build trust. I think of trust as like a bank balance. And what we want to be doing all throughout the interactions is building trust, putting little deposits in that trust balance, in that trust bank. Because whenever we ask a patient to do something they don't really want to do, and we tell them something they don't want to hear, we spend that trust. So if they thought, I'll be better in 2 or 3 visits, and we're saying this might take 6 visits, we've just spent some trust. If we were asking them to do some exercises and they don't really want to do exercises, we're spending some of that trust. As long as we don't go overdrawn, that's okay. But I want to use the history and exam to just look for ways I can just put a little bit more in the balance. So when I come to say some things they might not want to hear, or explain some things they're not really that keen on, I'm less likely to go overdrawn and have them go, this isn't really what I thought I was going for.